Okay, for today's project we're going to pull the rear tire or rear wheel off my 1988 Yamaha Virago 1100cc motorcycle. The reason being, it's got a slow leak in it caused by a nail. First thing you have to do is lift the rear wheel off the ground. So you're probably immediately thinking, okay, put it on a center stand. Well, the center stand does pull the rear wheel off the ground, but not high enough. You need about 2 more inches to actually get the rear wheel out from underneath the fender. So I would recommend, instead of putting it on the center stand, you simply secure the motorcycle in an upright position and then use a floor jack to jack the unit up off the ground. This will give you sufficient clearance to get the rear wheel out once you've loosened it. Okay, now we've got the unit upright and we've got the rear wheel lifted sufficiently off the ground. Next, we have to remove 2 cotter pins. On the left side, we have to remove the cotter pin which is holding the castle nut in. And on the right hand side, we have to remove the cotter pin which is holding the 12mm bolt that's attached to the brake shoe plate. Now that we've got the 2 cotter pins out, we can go back to the left hand side and remove the castle nut and the thick washer which is behind it. Next, we go to the right hand side and loosen up the nut which is holding the axle pin in place. At this point on the right hand side, drop down and remove the nut and stud that's holding the brake shoe plate in place. Next, we should go to the threaded rod that connects from your brake pedal to the lever camshaft on the brake assembly, and remove that. You simply unscrew the tensioner on the rear, pull it off, depress the brakes, and when you do that, the rod will pull right free of the camshaft lever. Next thing to do is pull the axle shaft out from the wheel. Now there's 2 things you can do to do this. One, on the left hand side, you can take a rubber mallet or a piece of wood or something like that and tap on it to knock it through. Or you can go over to the right hand side and maybe take a pair of pliers or vice grips and clamp onto it and twist and pull at the same time to pull the shaft out. Okay, now the only thing holding the wheel on at this point is the splined male and female connection between the drive shaft and the wheel. And at this point, if you grab the wheel and pull it to the right of the bike, the wheel should pull right off the splined assembly, and now it should drop down to the floor and be free. At this point, assuming you've elevated the rear of the bike sufficiently, you should be able to pull the wheel out. It'll be a tight fit coming out, and you may have to tug on it a little to get it past some of the motorcycle frame, but it should come out. So now the wheel is removed, and you can do whatever you set out to do to the wheel, maybe change a tire or have a flat fixed or whatever. Remounting and reinstalling the wheel is just a question of reversing this order and putting it back. Actually, getting the wheel back onto the male and female spline assembly. Takes a little doing. You're probably going to have to fiddle around with it a little bit to get it to work, or to join up. Once you've got it lifted into position, it will be held at that level, and then you can turn it and wiggle it around until the spline, male and female splines, line up, and then you just push it right on. Like I say, this takes a little doing. Expect to spend maybe 4 or 5 minutes horsing around with it to finally get it to go in. But once it's in, you'll know. You'll feel it become very solid and joined to the drive assembly. When reassembling the wheel, you want to have some new cotter pins to stick into the 2 cotter pin holes. You can buy these at Home Depot in their hardware section. They'll sell you a whole box of them for not too much money in a sorted size box. That's what I got. But anyhow, definitely you want to put new cotter pins in there. Well, that's it. Spin the wheel to make sure that it's turning freely. All the bike is still jacked up. And when it's good and solid, it looks solid to you, you shake it around, nothing moves, it turns freely, you're all set. Drop the bike down and take it out for a test run. It's not a complicated job, it's pretty straightforward and simple. But took me probably about an hour to do the job. Most of the time I spent chasing down tools and moving them out to the shed. So anyhow, stay safe out there, keep the rubber slide down. Remember, there is danger everywhere. And also, remember, I'll be back